is awesome when you're part of UITM.
Part of your journey is to be part of developing the nation, the way that I always want to be, and that's to become an architect. I always want to become an architect when age of 7. What is a Malaysian architecture? In other words, architecture of kebangsaan.
You don't get inspired by just flicking through fashion magazines. You have to really feel the colors of life. It is actually being more present in your surroundings.
And this again is the first in the world. And basically at this point of time, probably we have the biggest database of the whole genomes of the Orang Asli and Malay in the world.
Our driverless car is the brainchild of a number of faculties and specialists coming together to create an automotive wonder.
Reaching out to the people via mobile dental clinic has been our labor of love because we want to provide the best oral and dental hygiene care.
We made history as the first public university in Malaysia to deploy a nanosatellite into outer space.
When you think of the problem that we have now, what's next? And here is Grab Cycle.
Education is life, with knowledge and experience driving the transformation from the ordinary into something extraordinary. Everything is awesome when you're part of UITM. So be what you want to be, because you are the leader and you are the future. Be the best that you can be. Be the first. Be UITM.
All right, so a very good morning to all participants. Okay, so welcome to the Malaysia Automation Technology Exchange webinar series, Matews 2022. And today is the fourth series for the year. Okay, so the fourth series seeks to share knowledge on, we have drone application, we have automation process and industry, as well as green technology in Malaysia. So for today's event, we have a great lineup of speakers and we believe you will definitely benefit from it. So therefore, do stay with us till the end of the event. Please make sure that you register yourself later. So we're going to provide you the link after the third or fourth speaker. So please do register yourself so that you are entitled to the free 1-year ISA membership. So, before I pass on this session to the speakers, to allow me to briefly walk you through today's event. So, in short, we call it Matews. Okay, so Matews 2022 is jointly organized by the International Society of Automation, ISA Malaysia, University Technology Mara, UITM, University Technology Malaysia, UTM, and University Technology Petronas, UTP. So this event could not be materialized, of course, without the strong support from our local working committee, namely the UITM Postgraduate Society, WIPS, Engineering Postgraduate Society, ENGINS, and the Institute of Graduate Studies of UITM. So basically, this webinar aims to be a platform for us to exchange knowledge, exchange experience between the industry panel expert and also the academics. So we do have postgraduate, undergraduate students here alongside the academicians, and basically in regards to topics relating to systems and digitalizations. So having said so, we have speakers from various industrial backgrounds equipped with a wide and strong technical experience that were invited by ISA to be the speakers for this event. So for today, basically, we have 4 distinguished speakers who are from Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka, PTHM, Petronas, as well as Aeronerv UAV drone. Right, so without further ado, I would like to invite Datuk Wira Dr. Abu Bakar bin Muhammad Dia, who is the CEO of Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka, PTHM, with the topic of his talk, Green Technology in Melaka and its impact on Malaysia. Please do welcome, Datuk.
Okay, terima kasih banyak-banyak. Very good morning. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. salam di Melaka ni kena cakap we have to proper salam ya. Salam Melaka maju, Melaka ku maju jaya. Rakyat bahagia menggamit dunia. So that is our salam in Melaka. Otherwise, they are not call me from Melaka. Okay, today I'm CEO of Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka. Actually, I'm an ex-lecturer before. So I'm an ex-lecturer at the University of Science Malaysia in Faculty of Civil Engineering. And then after that, I'm working with UTM, University Technical Malaysia Melaka, as a Deputy Vice Chancellor for Research and Innovation, I think. And then I involved in politics and then become a Deputy Minister from 2013 until 2018. And then I lost the election and then come back as a CEO of Teknologi Hijau Melaka. So that is my long journey before the environment to come give the talk on green technology in Melaka. Okay, actually Melaka Green, we call it Melaka Green Technology Corporation, yeah, or Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka, and then we are popular with the name of PTHM. Is a Malaysian corporation with the headquarters in Malaysia, capital city of Melaka, as you know, and then formerly known as the Hang Tuah Jaya Corporation. Before they changed to Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka, we got our old name, they call it the Hang Tuah Jaya Corporation atau Perbadanan Hang Tuah Jaya. So that is before Majlis Perbadanan Hang Tuah Jaya is established. When the Perbadanan Hang Tuah Jaya is established, they changed our name to Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka. So it was transformed in November 2013. It is nearly 10 years, nearly 9 years, in the leading agency for the green technology development in Melaka. So actually the idea to perform the green technology in Melaka is, around 10 or 15 years ago, we got the problem with global warming. You still remember when they're talking about global warming, and then flood here and there, and then Chief Minister of Melaka at the time is our governor now. They are very interesting in the global warming, this problem of the world and so on. So they asked me to think something, how about to protect Melaka at the time, and then to protect our world. So this is, they say, although they are small contribution, but we try to contribute to the world. So that's why PTHMs established to promote and expanding green program and initiative in Melaka, as well as coordinating, executing and monitoring this project of the strategies of PTHM and to thus under the Green Technology Action Plan. So I will mention you have the plan, action plan afterward, or they call it GCAP, with the implementing of green initiative in the 6 critical sector. So that is our aim. That is my job now. First, water management. So that is our one of our tasks. Green efficiency and renewable energy. Of course, when you're talking about green, people will mention about how renewable energy in Malaysia, in Melaka, also wherever I go attend a meeting, people will ask me energy efficiency and renewable energy. And number 3 is call it green transportation. Now everywhere talking about green transportation, zero waste, how you deal with waste, and then culture and heritage tourism. Now lately I'm discussed with the Perbadanan Museum Melaka how the green technology can be involved in the Perbadanan Museum Melaka, and then urban forestry and agriculture. Of course, everywhere talking about when we're talking about forestry and agriculture, we are trying to protect our forestry, and now there is a new regulation will come out to the Malaysian Act. We want to introduce another how to protect our forestry. So that is the 6 action plan. The Melaka Green Action Plan is according to GCAP, with implementation of green initiative in the 6 critical factor. So that is the one that I mentioned. And then the very important, every meeting I go all over the world, this six factor is very important to protect our world. So PTHM vision is to be the world leading innovator and creation of the cutting edge green technology. Of course, everywhere I come from university, you know, everything we're talking about innovation, leading innovator, how to create the cutting point, cutting edge green technology. Okay, and then it's a mission to enable green development by providing information and long-term planning in areas of research and development, efficiency and integrity, and integrity on the focus on the raising awareness. So actually now, the problem is that I'm facing, not problem, what we're doing every day is now how public awareness is very important. So everywhere I'm attend a meeting or any function, for me, green awareness, how it is very important. That's why, like this weekend, in PTHM, we organize one big event. We call it Singgit Sposin Program. You know, when we're talking about Singgit Sposin Program, that is a program organized by us that we are trying to establish, we are trying to promote how you can sell your whatever, it can be recycled by through drive-through. That means you no need to go out from your car. We have provided those facilities and we pay at the moment. So that is a very popular program. 3 weeks ago, we organized same program that we'll organize for next week. We managed, a few hours, managed to buy 30 tons of the recycled materials in that program. So that's why now my officer is very busy to promote here and there. They call it Singgit Sposin program. I also don't know why the name is Singgit Sposin, but later maybe later we see that is because the price of recycled material they are bought from our that come to the drive-through. Yeah. So the objective of PTHM, of course, we have our objective to increase human capital in order to develop a green culture conscious of the society. Of course, the most important one is to increase human capital. We have to give to understand why. You know, when I everywhere, everywhere that I attend a meeting people will ask me how to protect our with our expert. Is it our expert is enough, or how you expose to our students, our new generation? That is always an issue when I meet public all the time. So to promote green development in order to reduce carbon emission. So everywhere, if you want to talk about green, there must be a promote of a green development in order to reduce carbon emission. This in my officer, in my office, there is a special officer. That is the job is every day is to calculate how much that carbon dioxide been produced by the industry every day. So and then all this calculation, all this amount, we will keep together and we make every year report on how coming out, how much the carbon dioxide that you are exposed or to expose to our environment. So that is very important. And then to generate income through the implementation of green project. So that is very important also. When you are talking about green, people we talk, and the other people we're talking about how to generate the income, how you make money. You know, you cannot say we want to save something, but you have to make money. You have to create job. You have to create the opportunity. Otherwise, people will back to their own character. So that's why to increase member of competent to be more creative, innovative, productive, and precise. Right? They mean they got their own principle how to do that. So and then to provide the job opportunity based on knowledge and insight. So that is we're talking about young people. You go to university, you go to everywhere. People we talk how to increase, how to provide the job opportunities based on knowledge and that insight that whatever your think for the future. So the duties of PTHM include, so this is promoting and increasing public understanding and awareness, as well as the exposure and interest in the green lifestyle empowerment at the various level and sectors. So I repeat, promoting and increasing public understanding and awareness, as well as exposure and interest in the green lifestyle empowerment and various level and sectors. And then two, developing and organizing and the leading of varieties of event, training, and courses, increase community-based awareness in the green culture. So that is a very important because I'm the chairman of the department. We got a board of directors, and then and every time all the meetings or whatever, I have to brief our ESCO member. They always ask me how you contribute to the public. Is it public understand what you are going to do? Is it any benefit of the public? And then is it you are leading to variety event, training and courses to increase community-based awareness of the green culture. Is it, so that's why last Friday there is a Kutubah Jumaat in Malacca, but I don't know, I think in Malaysia. I think in Malacca we're talking about how to protect environment. Immediately after Friday prayer, and after Friday prayer, when I tried to put back my shoes, and then a few people is surrounding me, talking about the Kutubah Jumaat issue in the Kutubah Jumaat, but they relate whatever talking in the Kutubah Jumaat to the green technology. This is last week, So I'm very happy to explain them how green can protect our environment. Of course, there is many way how to you protect. You can protect it, but the most important is our lifestyle. That's why, as I mentioned, in the duties of the PHHM is promoting increased public understanding and awareness, as well as exposure and interest in the green lifestyle, empowerment at various levels and sectors. Number three, you have to plan. You have to plan, coordinate, and control green development in accordance with the development of the policies and guidelines. Of course, I have to prepare all these green policies and guidelines on behalf of government of Malaysia, government of Malacca. So, because I'm one of the member in the ESCO member of the committee of the ESCO member on education and technology, of course, anything you have to implement in Malacca must be follow our enactment or your previous enactment, and well, any policies and guidelines they must be approved by ESCO meeting. So that is my department job to prepare all this kind, and then before we can go to the public. And then completing annual report, as I mentioned, we are completing annual report and carbon emission inventory for improvement as well as development planning and green activities in the state of Malacca. So every year we have to submit or to produce our annual report on the carbon emission inventory for improvement as well as development planning and green activity in the state of Malacca. So I think the last report is for 1998, I think, until 1997. We take our time also. We take a lot of time to discuss because there is a lot of data and you have to collect many industries, how to collect it, and then we make a report. So actually when we are in the PTHM. When we produce our report, we are very happy, very proud that we are a small contribution for PTHM to the world, that many organizations in the world is trying to read our baseline or our annual report on the carbon emission. They are very interested on what is the data that produced in my department according to Malacca point of view. And then PTHM as the secretariat coordinating for the Malaysian Green Technologies Council to report the development and implementation of green activities. Like, of course, we have to report every month what is our activities. Of course, this is government department, they're based on activities and then give some of money, and of course they will ask you what you are doing with this money, and then there is benefit to the people. I think that is every day our duties every day to think about this and to make a report to the government. Of course, now when you're talking Malacca, in any speech of our chief minister, they are talking about how to implement green in Malacca. Of course, everything must become from my department. Planning, encouraging, and launching business in order to generate income and profit. So every day, every day, I got very busy appointment every day, hour by hour. People come here. They will ask me how to contribute. At least they contribute how to make our new solar farm. You got any land? How big your land? And if any building you do any building you want to put solar panel, something. Any parking car park, open car park, then you can change. We can do it for. We can construct our solar panel. So every day, we're talking about. We are discussing about SEDA. We are discussing about anything. People try to make money or try to have these activities that, but at the same time we can bring our new job and then new opportunities in Malacca according to green. And then managing, enhancing, and improving administrative, financial, human capital management, system method, regulation, and procedures to achieve efficiency of this effectiveness. So, of course, as a government department, it's new government department, now talking about green, we have to work in achieve our own efficiency and effectiveness as a commitment of the government. So, as we know, in the federal government committee also, in United, also Malacca is implemented, but of course we are follow our federal government commitment in United Nations Framework Convention Climate Change or UNFCCC conference in conference of parties COP15, which has been held in Copenhagen, Denmark in 2009. Prime Minister has announced the voluntary desire of the country to reduce intensity of the greenhouse gases or CHS emission. So I think that is the base one. Because I was in Copenhagen at the time. So when Prime Minister announced the voluntary desire of the country to reduce intensity, and then Malacca tried to participate to give small contribution to the world, how we can play active role in to reduce our carbon content or voluntary desire of the country to reduce intensity of greenhouse or CGH emission. So Malaysia hope to reduce the intensity of CGHG emission of the gross economy by 45% based on the gross domestic product or GDP in 2030. We are committed. We're going to reduce 45% based on the gross domestic product or GDP in 2030 as compared to the intensity of 2015. So now it's 7 years. 7 years we passed 7 years, and then there is another 18 years to go. Malacca State government also hope to reduce the intensity of the green or the green CH emission in accordance with the commitment of the federal government. When the federal government is committed, Malacca try to hope that to reduce our intensity of the greenhouse gases or CHs in a GHG ini as planning or as a commit by our federal government. So Malacca Green Technology is a department that we try to fulfill or to make this one happen at the 2030. And then Pembananan Teknologi Hijau plan and implement the variety of program so as activities including cultivating green culture and growth grassroots level through the implementation of the Malacca Eco School program. We are very proud so that in the total of 131 elementary or secondary school have signed up in the participate the initiative that for PTHM estimate that the curriculum fully implement in Malacca with the public school. 131 school. That is the biggest amount, the highest in Malacca, in Malaysia, amount of school. We are very small state, but secondary and elementary school have signed, and they are very active. Every day I have busy. We deal with them. What is the project? Give lecture. Sometimes I have to go. They invite me to open new facilities or sometimes new activities. They ask me given to talk, and then the state government also working towards the objective to over 100 schools set to be recognized as a green school by 2022. So I think, as I mentioned before, when we're talking about green implementation, we must tackle our school, our student, or our son or our children. So that one, our eco school is play important roles in Malacca. That's one, and I'm very busy. We give to educate our children that green is very important. So PTHM also play a role in the development of the state policy and future planning. For example, PTHM play a key role in development of the sustainable cities as well as smart cities. In Malacca, we are talking about smart cities, and Malacca is contribute. Our department is contribute one of the important role, important member in the how to plan our smart cities beside with another big department. That is beside with UPenn and then a few agencies in Malacca. In addition to launching the number of additional green projects, PTM as the State Family Green Innovation Organization also launched a number of other green initiatives, including, so that is a part of our activity that is we are busy, production of annual report on the Malacca Green Gas Release Inventory that I mentioned before, Secretary for the Green Building Certification, compliant using the Malacca Green Seal Guideline. Malacca, they got our own guideline. We call it Malacca Green Seal Guideline. So if you want to rectify or be been recognized as your premise is according to green here and there, you have to follow that our Green Seal Guideline, and then you get a certificate that you can tell to the public you got this, you have fulfilled the guideline, and then you give a few recognition, and then so you can use it for the public awareness. Energy efficiency retrofit project, of course, now there is a few projects in Malacca. They call it the energy efficiency retrofit project, the smart grid demonstration project. Now, when we're talking about in Malacca, they call it smart grid, and then conversion of the street light to LED light. So now in Malaysia, almost the most state in Malaysia, they change now the street light to LED light. Malacca is one of the one. Then the use of biodegradable product as an alternative to the disposal plastic bag. So this is one of our activity, and collection of the used cooking oil to be recycled into the biodiesel and more. Now our market activities to buy back our cooking oil, recycled cooking oil, its demand is very good in Malacca, the increase daily. So my department is busy to deal with this kind of activities. Currently, Petrocham is actively implement new program in line with the role as the sole agency in the green technology in Malacca among they are doing now. We are busy that in implementing the solar rooftop project through the net energy metering NEM program. So NEM program, we are very busy for the last 6 months. They are talking about NEM, where people come almost every day come to see me in the implementation of solar rooftop project through the net energy metering. There is another few months, maybe 1 to 2 months. This building also, the Wisma Negeri or Sri Negeri also, we are now in line to put our solar panel in our rooftop. And then proposing the district cooling system. Now we are talking about, we follow some of the state, some is project in Kuala Lumpur, we call it district cooling system. So we are now to construct another cooling system in the area where we in the MITC area. So there is all the building surrounding MITC. We will depends on this cooling system, district cooling system or DCS. As I think there is a few in Malacca. It's one of I don't know in Bangsa, I think. So that is the one that Malacca is going to promote. And then banning owner of the building come to see me. They want to participate in terms of the district cooling system. And then supervisory responsibility for the Malacca Green Award program. Now my officer is busy meeting every day because in this coming December, November, December, I think there is a Green Award, Malacca Green Award. We give this award, and then we open any of the country, any department in Malacca come to apply, and then we're going to check, going to audit with our expert in the fields, University in Malacca, and then they have to follow here and there. So we hope that the project, this award is recognized as many department in Malacca as a green technology transfer program and other initiatives. Of course, when people come to see me, they ask me about green technology transfer program and what is initiative they will carry out if they are involved in this kind of activities. And then in the state of Malacca, I know ahead of the game when it was come a solar power generation, there is a field power. We got one also cooperate with in the private sector. We got power generation in Jasin, in Rambia, Aikro, and new solar farm and a new solar farm with the capacity of 6.8 megawatt in Masjid Tanah. That is our own. We are contribute with another one in department in Malacca, department in Masjid Tanah Malacca. Thanks to the collaboration between PTHM, the two solar Park one of the company we call it Solar Park One. We are covered together. So now we got our this 6.8 megawatt solar farm in Mechitana. They are 4 solar farm are now operating in Malacca with the total electricity generation capacity able to roughly 2 we can now service 25,000 house with it these 4 of our solar farm. Aikro, owned by Gading Kencana Sdn Bhd, 8 megawatt. Rambia, owned by Kumpulan Melaka Berhad, 5 megawatt. Jasin Quantum Solar Park Sdn Bhd, 50 megawatt. And Masjid Tanah with the cooperation with PTHM, the 12 solar park 1 is 6.8 megawatt. So PTHM has always been forward taking initiative when it comes to the application of research and green technology. We are trying to implement. Also, we are not do our own research, but we are contributing in order to keep it this green technology or implementation of green life in Malacca. This involves improving efficiency of power, resource energy usage, developing of regional and worldwide strategies, implementing the implementary and friendly waste management system, and implementation green transportation. All this made up possible to using uh, eco ecological friendly technique to preserve, promote our carbon footprint, and historically the well-being in Malacca citizens have been given top priority, notability, and we are the use of the green technology in order to create more sustainable future. So this is my job. This is green technology in Malacca, and then that is our daily activities to promote green in Malacca. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Datuk, for the very insightful sharing on the green technology implementation in Melaka. And we got quite a lot of questions for you, actually, and interesting questions. I'll quickly go through, I'll select a few because there are quite a few. I think we have around 6 questions here. So quickly, the first question is basically about budget. So a lot have been done on this. Okay, so transformation towards green development requires budget. So Dato, what do you think? Is Malaysia ready to change most electrical systems, for example, lighting into a system that is green friendly, but at the same time, of course, with the constraints of the budget? So that was the first question.
Okay. Actually, when you're talking about you want to implement new things, all over the world, people are talking, is it good enough money or not? Okay. I think now there is a many system that people come to see me. They want to introduce this one or this one. They want to use the new method or new equipment. They are producing. They are talking about. Low price here and low price here. But for me, as an implementer in Malacca, I'm not worried about it. Many people try to participate. They're willing to pay if they want, if they are real, can save money. So that is the most important. Like if there is in Malacca, many people come to see me. They want to change the house. They want to implement with solar pump, solar panel at their rooftop. Because you don't need to pay, because you have to sign the agreement, and then you can save money. So for me, there is a few ways, many ways that you can change it. You think about this, and then you can change your lifestyle, and then with reduce cost. So for me, that is not a big problem if you want to change, if you understand how to implement green in your premise. So, because many people, almost every day, if I visit, when you want to come to my place to change this one, to change, so of course, when people understand, the most important is that you must keep them understand, is it green give a benefit to their society or benefit to the children and our future generation. That's why my strategy, I go everywhere in Malacca talking about this, and people, not many of them discuss about money. They discuss how we can protect our life, can give better life for our children. That is the most important.
Okay, Dato, basically it's about long-term saving lah, long-term saving and also the value of.
Of course, there are some mosques. This is maybe saving 200 ringgit per month, but this is long-term planning. They will take more money.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain the question have been answered. Okay, another question, Dato. We have actually 6, so I think I'll pick the one that probably stand out from it. Okay, so the other question. Nuclear is a zero-emission clean energy source. It generates power through fission, which is the process of splitting uranium atoms to produce energy. So, is Malaysia going to have nuclear power plant to support green technology?
That question is not suitable to me. You can ask a minister, whatever. I know the answer, but I don't want to answer it. Yeah, because that is a big decision I'm not involved in. So in Malacca, because I'm the CEO of Padanan Teknologi Hijau Malacca, we're talking about how to deal with one. We are talking about sometimes we are thinking about this one here and there. I'm ex-deputy minister, science, technology, innovation. So I know some of the answer, but I think let the organization answer. It's not me.
All right. Okay, Dato. I think let's take just one more question to sum it up to 9:45. Okay, all industries will expand due to demands, and with expansion, carbon emission will also rise. This contradict with green technology initiatives. What is your comment on this?
Oh yeah. Actually, that is normal. That is normal our life. But many industries is like to contribute to reduce it. They want to, say in Malacca, not many people. Now they say want to use carbon credit. I think that is another way. So now many of the industry in Malacca, many like the Petronas, they come to discuss with me how they can, because when they understand how we can protect our environment through this, and then that's why in Malacca, all over Malaysia, they will introduce, they call it carbon credit, where private sector have to pay some of the money because they are produce this kind of amount of the carbon dioxide. So they're willing to pay, and then many of them willing to plant. They want to plant new trees. You give the land to them. They're going to buy the land, and then they are say, if you are producing the mass of the carbon dioxide, we can change it back to the we plant our tree at this big area and so on. So they will contribute. But when they are recognized, they understand. Many industries understand now because when we're talking about many of them actually like to contribute. Let's say in Malacca, many of the housing developer come to see me. They want to design new housing scheme according to green requirement. Many of them come to see me. If the green, you are talking about green, how to produce this one, what is the treatment, and then they like to do because they want to contribute to them. In Malacca, they are increased now. Almost many of the housing developer come to see me, and many industry to come. In Malacca, there is one factory. They are very committed. I'm very committed. I'm very proud. Sometimes I go to visit them. They are very controversial, and then they want to show to the people we are now produce green initiative to Malacca, and then at the same time they try to sell the product. I think it's good. I still remember 5 years ago, 6 years ago, we want to sell our product. We have to go to the social media to do that. Now in Malacca, the manufacturers, they want to sell the product. They implement green implementation. And people say, oh, we should buy this product because they are committed to the green. They said 2 weeks ago, I'm meeting in my room. There is a biscuit factory, though I don't know. So they are very important, and they can say, yes, when you implement that the biscuit factory, according to this, very good sale. That is our one way to do in Malacca. And of course, the private sector will contribute, and at the same time, people of Malacca also willing to do that. Thank you.
All right. Okay, good answer, Dato. And one last one because it's from Malacca. So can PTHM make it compulsory for all industries in Malacca to have a charging station at their office? So this is to encourage Malaysians to support the government initiative for a green vehicle. Appreciate your comment on this.
At this moment, I cannot, that has become a big issue. Actually, in Malacca, we try to pursue our owner of the building. They provide charging at the proper place in the building. At this moment, we try to implement it. So let's say in my building also, we the volunteer and the owner of the building can. If that we cannot make it compulsory at this moment. At this moment, maybe not. But although we are saying there is only the voluntary, and many people come to see me. You can put for my building, my underground parking car park is like to do this, like to do this, or this. Almost every week, many people to do. So I think maybe next time there is a compulsory, but in this moment, voluntary opportunities also, many people come to see me. And then now my problem is our demand is quite okay, but not many people are going to PC. So we hope that when we are talking more green for our people, and then there is they will come easily, and then we can payment for our people. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dato'. That's a very wonderful and impressive what has been done in Melaka actually on green technology. So a lot of things are running and a lot of things are basically coming up and the awareness is there. The human capital are being even educated from the primary students themselves. So it's great. It's great to know about that. Okay, thank you very much, Dato'.
Thank you.
So for now we have a short break with a video montage. I think we have 2 montage, and then we'll be back with the second speaker of the day. Okay.
At the intersection of data and analytics, of real-time process performance and digital twins, of advanced technology and domain expertise, you'll find industrial intelligence. They come together in the most powerful analytical software platform in the industrial sector, Honeywell Forge for Industrial. Honeywell Forge brings together process and asset digital twins, machine learning, analytics, and industry-leading software solutions into a single platform. The platform delivers real-time data and visual intelligence so you can make better decisions. Decisions based on your key performance indicators. Honeywell Forge for Industrial provides visual analytics at the enterprise level, the plant level, and the unit level by comparing actual process and asset performance against digital twin optimized overall performance. Integrated and accurate models provide better intelligence, deeper insights, and actionable guidance across business, engineering, operations, and maintenance teams. An extensible platform drives operating best practices and helps you address issues that impact process and equipment performance, reliability, safety, and profitability. Honeywell Forge for Industrial delivers enterprise performance management, the quickest path to sustained peak performance.
What is Industry 4.0, and what does it mean for you? Technology is driving change across all areas of society. Not only do we increasingly use it and even rely on it in our personal lives, we also find our workplaces digitally evolving, with more and more processes now being undertaken using technology. This change is known as the Fourth Industrial Revolution, or Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 will see many tasks that were once performed by us now being automated. With the collection and analysis of real-time data, artificial intelligence, and the ability for all components of a production line to talk to each other, production can be really efficient and personalized according to customer needs. But what does this mean for us? With increased automation, our time will be freed up for concentrating on more complex tasks. We will need a workforce who are capable of building, programming, and developing these technologies, but also making sure we are applying them to our lives in an ethical way. There are core skills that we can offer that technology cannot replace. The human touch is going to be incredibly important, ensuring effective communication, problem solving, and supporting change management in this digital environment. There will also be a greater need for joint working across disciplines, creating new innovations. The future job market will be looking for graduates with an open mind to explore the unknown future possibilities. We will all need to develop our skills in order to embrace, adapt to this ever-changing environment. What will you do to make sure you are ready and have the right skills to thrive in the fourth industrial revolution?
Okay, welcome back everyone, and let's quickly move on to our second speaker of the day, Mr. Divakaran Shanmugam, who is a principal at Petronas. So Mr. Divakaran Shanmugam has 27 years working experience in MRCSB in Malacca, covering maintenance and engineering. Started his career in operation and later pursued to become systems engineer, maintenance engineer, and currently he's looking into governance, innovation, and project. Throughout his career, he had led many initiatives, including 6 times Plantain Around, plus various trip, people development, knowledge development, and staff assessment. He's also a member of the ISM Malaysia chapter. So therefore, please welcome Mr. Divakaran with his talk entitled Screen Subsystem Controller Surveillance.
A very good morning, Eliana. If you don't mind, can you include Encik Aminuddin also? Actually, we are two speakers here.
All right. Okay, Mr. Diva. Is it okay? Can Mr. Aminuddin join the...
Hello?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
No.
Okay, let me try one more time. Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
But we can't see you, Aminuddin, your video.
Okay.
Right.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
All right. Okay.
Sorry for the hiccup.
Right. Okay. Very good morning. Very good morning. Salam sejahtera. Selamat pagi. First of all, thank you to UITM co-host of this seminar, Malaysian Automation Technology Seminar, and we really appreciate for given the opportunity to present one of our hardware and software system that's currently that we use in MRCSB. So my name is Divakaran Shanmugam, working in Malaysia Refining. MRCSB stand for Malaysia Refining Company Sdn Berhad, and my friend here, Chamuddin, can you introduce?
Okay, again, Assalamualaikum and very good morning, everyone. Thank you for inviting us for this webinar. Okay, my name is Aminuddin bin Noh. Similar to Mr. Divakaran, I'm working in Malaysian Refining Company Sdn Berhad. Today I will be the second presenter for this paper.
Okay. Today our title will be the leverage on digital solution for the next level of PLC maintenance. PLC stands for programmable logic control. Something that is using the hardware and software to control some of our important unit in our plant. Yeah. All right, next. Can you press next? Okay, our presentation today will be about our refinery overview and the PLC installation in our company, and also regarding the maintenance, and also the case of change. What is our pain point and what is our digital solution, and also the conclusion. Yeah. And in the general, it's actually we are talking from the old traditional way of operating and how we are embarked going to the industrial 4.0. Okay, some basic background of our refinery. The fact and figures actually we are producing as around 303 barrel per day in our refinery in Melaka. The Melaka refinery located in Sungai Udang. Sungai Udang around 30 kilometers from the Melaka town, and most of our refinery is coming from sweet crude. Yeah, the sweet crude is actually what I'm trying to say. Sweet crude is our local produced crude, and also we are importing sour crude. Sour crude mean they got high sulfur content, which we import from the Middle East. And we also producing the LPG for our cooking gas, and also jet fuel oil. Jet fuel oil actually for the airlines, aircraft. And at the same time, we also have most of our refinery is producing for our domestic use and also for export. So we have 3 refineries, one in Penapisan Terengganu, one in Rapid Johor, and also Melaka. All right, next. So talking about the PLC, programming logic controller, we have 109 nodes of this system, which we use particularly for our safety system to protect our system in case there is any emergency. We have to shut down to prevent fires or any catastrophic. Number two is the fire and gas. Fire and gas actually to detect any fire or gas in our system. And number 3 is the sequence process. Sequence process mean all the important process that use for our refinery. And number 4 is the turbo machinery equipment control and protection, actually to run all the compressors. If you know, there's a compressor actually to compress whatever LPG, hydrogen, that kind of big compressor. We need this PLC to run this. Next. So first, we're talking about the safety system. What's the benefit of using the PLC for the safety system? So the safety system, as I said, to execute trip and shutdown function to bring the process to safe state. Yeah. In case there's any abnormality, we have to shut down the plant. Because plant is an oil and gas industry, safety is our priority. In case there's any abnormal, in case of there's over pressure, so we have to shut down. So the system will automatically shut down. There's no any human interventions. Yeah. And also it will activate the final element. For example, the shutdown valve and also the blow down. Shutdown mean we will isolate the system. Blow down mean we blow down the excess gas to the flare system. And everything is a redundant architecture. Redundant mean every IO cards we have redundant. In case one hardware fail, we have always have a redundant because it's a safety system. And also it's a fail-safe concept. Fail-safe, if there's any abnormal in the hardware, yeah, it will shut down the plant. Because the system always keep track. If there's any hardware fail, that means we are run the plant on dangerous state. So we have to shut down the plant. And also it's a self-diagnostic. It's always checking the healthiness of the hardware. You always keep tracking 24 hours on the system's healthiness. And also this is TUV SEAL 3 certified. SEAL 3 mean is a German's what we call the safety integrity systems. We look into the third party. Third party will evaluate this system. Whenever we order this, it always been evaluated by the third party to ensure that system that we receive is actually safe to be used. And it's also equipped with engineering workstation. Yeah, so we need the HMI, the workstation, for us to do and all kind of calibration, all kind of system changes. And also this is functional safety center to meet IEC 508 and 511. Yeah, it's looking into the electronic and electrical mandatory technical, which to it ensure that the safety system is suited for the industrial process. Yeah, so it's a standard that we have to comply. Next. So next will be the fire and gas system. As I said, this PLC used to detect. This PLC is keep processing, always keep processing and detecting the fire and gas in our refinery. If in case there's any gas release or smoke release, it will trigger an alarm. And also in case there's a fire, it will detect. So we got many detectors at the plant, surrounding the plant, and always give the input to the PLC. This PLC use this logic. Yeah, if there's any abnormal, it'll give an alarm for us to take action. Yeah, so it also will activate the deluge valve system. Deluge valve is a water. In case there's a fire, it will release the water to suppress the fire. And also the foam. Foam is some kind of foam. Foam. If you see at home, there's any fire hydrant, or if you go to the office, you can see the red color cylinder is a foam inside. So if we have a big foam surrounding the plant, in case there's any fire, it will activate and suppress the fire. And we also have the beacon and sounder located in each and every area of the plant. And in case there's any fire or detected, it will sound an alarm, a sounder for local usage. This is also a redundant architecture to make sure that we have a very high reliable system. And it's also a non-fail system. Non-fail system means in case there's a failing system, it won't shut down the plant, because we don't want any nuisance. In case any issues on the cable or broken, we don't want the suppress system, the water will sprinkle to the plant. Is a nuisance to the people who's working at the site. And also it's equipped with the engineering workstation and also HMI, human machine interface, for people to monitor this any abnormal of this fire and gas detector. Next. We also have this PLC, program logic controller, used for the turbo machinery control and protection. So as I said, we are using this compressor to produce liquefied petroleum gas, LPG, hydrogen, and some kind of high pressure compressed for our reaction for the catalyst, and also for the LPG for our usage, for the domestic usage. Okay, so because it's a very big compressor, high pressure compressor, we need conditional monitoring and protection. Conditional monitoring, we keep continuous, this PLC keep continuous monitor the bearings, the pressure, the temperature, and also the seal and any leak of the compressor, and including the vibration. And also protection. Protection means in case there is any surge or what, we will trip the compressor to make sure that we don't have any catastrophic or damages to the assets. And also control turbine operation efficiency. So we make sure when we operate this compressor, we have to operate efficient. If we don't operate efficient, we will produce high load, high vibration, excessive flaring, so environment impact. So we don't want that. We'll operate this compressor at a very efficient way. So that's why we need this PLC. And this PLC also we equipped with the engineering workstation, also HMI. Next. So now the next will be the sequence process. We have many units sequence process in our refinery that we need this PLC. So first of all, it's actually use this PLC for control and monitoring of the sequence process. Normally will be under process licensor, because this small unit actually we have to buy as a package, and it will be controlled by this OEM. So the logic will be in the black box. And if you see the air dryer system, first we have many package system, but I'll just select this 4. Air dryer system meaning whatever air that we produce to run all our instrumentation must be dry. Yeah. So in order to be dry, we have this PLC. We'll always looking into the moisture. When there's the moisture high level, we have the dryer, we have the kind of process. We remove all this moisture and we have a very dry air. We also have hydrogen production unit. Hydrogen production unit, why we need hydrogen? Actually, for the catalyst, if you learn about the catalyst, we need the mankins. So to react to fasten the reactions. So we need this hydrogen. So in order to produce the hydrogen, we need this PLC, this program to run this batch process. We will remove all the impurities and we produce the clean hydrogen. In future, we also try to use this hydrogen for our export. Currently, we use for domestic for the catalyst. So for the greenhouse and the sustainable project initiative, in the future, we'll use this hydrogen for export. Yeah. We also have the demin water unit. Demin means to remove all the demineralization water, because if you don't remove, we'll have high corrosion to our piping. So we need this PLC to remove all these impurities, especially all this demin. All right, and we have this catalytic regeneration unit. Catalytic regeneration unit is a catalyst to produce our reformer. Reformer is our base for our gasoline, for our petroleum. Yeah, so we have this PLC to look into all these parameters for the reaction and make sure that we have we produce a very high quality gasoline. Yeah, and as usual, all these units have a redundant architecture equipped with the HMI. Next. All right. Before I hand over, so when I talk about this PLC, programmable logic control, we must have to operate this at a very high integrity and also make sure it's very high, stable and very high reliable, because the impact of the PLC will cause our plant to shut down. So we have to have very high reliable and also make sure the PLC must have a very high reliable maintenance. Yeah. So talking about maintenance, I hand over to my colleagues to share his experience on the maintenance and also next of the slide. All right, thank you. Hand over to Amin.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Diva. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think you have listened that in the earlier slide that in MRSCSB we are having quite numbers of PLC, around 109 numbers. So I think this is one of the challenge for us to maintain the PLC to make sure we are having the highest level of reliability. Okay, from this slide onward, I will be talking about PLC maintenance and some of the digital solution that we plan to adopt in maintaining our PLC. Okay, let's talk about PLC maintenance. Okay, I think maybe some of you aware also, normally if there are issues in PLCs or some other thing in the plant, we normally go by the reactive maintenance, yeah. Okay, reactive maintenance, we know that when the thing happen, then we come to resolve. But in this case, we also having the preventive maintenance, whereby we develop, we call it the equipment reliability study. From there, we produce the schedule, the schedule of the maintenance and also the activities for us to address the failure mechanism of the PLCs. Okay, if you look at the screen, the preventive maintenance, we actually are having two numbers. The first one based on 6 monthly preventive maintenance. Also, this preventive maintenance is basically done by our system technician. We are looking at the visual inspection, some of the errors, and and the performance of the maintenance at site. And then as part of the what do you call it, the contract, it depends whether we are having once-off contract or global framework agreement. So normally we will engage one yearly our respective PLC vendors to come to site and perform the required maintenance for their PLCs. Okay, as part as the what do you call it, the disaster recovery, we also do not forget to have the backup of our system to ensure that if there are issues, let's say there's a failure of the PLCs, we can reinstall the programming and also the data back to the new PLC that we rectified. Okay, and then apart from preventive maintenance, as you know, each of the PLC having their own life cycle. Yeah, so we know that PLCs basically consist of hardware and software. So within the life cycle of the PLCs, we are going to be advised by our vendor when is the right time for us to upgrade their software and also the hardware. So this one is going to be one of the preventive maintenance also as far as the PLC life cycle is concerned. Okay, another part of the upgrade, which is on the cybersecurity requirement. So we know that cybersecurity is becoming a big topic in our industries nowadays. So in MRCSB or or even in Petronas, we are really very serious about this cybersecurity compliance for all our PLCs and some other system in our plant. Okay, last but not least is on the sparing strategy. Okay, as mentioned by Mr. Diva earlier, that our PLC is operating a critical unit, especially the safety system that we use to shut down the unit to bring the unit or to the plant to the safe state. So in the event of the failure, we have to make sure that all the critical PLC component, for instance, the controllers, the IOs and power supply are having the minimum spare available at site, so that in case of a failure, we can immediately replace the item. Okay. My next slide will be okay. My next slide will be on the case for change, whereby is the what do you call it, the topic that relate to the title of the our presentation today, which is leveraging on the digital solution. So what we experience or the pinpoint that we want to highlight here is there are three actually. The first one on the PLC data, as mentioned earlier, 109 numbers of PLC actually are localized. Some located in control room and some also located at site. Yeah. So the PLC data that we are having in the system are actually stranded. So in case that we want to perform the preventive maintenance, we have to go to site and collect all the information, and then only we can do the analysis. Okay. The second item is, or the pain point is on the site troubleshooting. We know that some of the PLCs can be, the preventive maintenance can be done by our system technician. However, there are certain things that require engineers for the support. The engineers have to go to site as well to support the system technician. And another pain point is the advanced troubleshooting for the by the PLC vendors. Because some of the PLC that we use in our plant is basically is a license unit. When we talk about license unit is normally the OEM have some certain programming that will not allow the end user to open or to modify. So in the event of the advanced troubleshooting, let's say to troubleshoot the process, yeah, we require OEM to be physically available to support the team. Okay, another thing is on the cybersecurity requirement. As for the PLCs, currently we are having the decentralized approach in terms of doing the Windows patching and as well as the antivirus. Due to multiple PLC and the dispersed location of the PLCs. So this one is actually also one of the pain point that we are having currently. Okay, let's talk about the digital solution that we plan to adopt. Okay, the first one is to address the PLC data are stranded and localized. So we are actually working together with vendor to establish conceptual design. If you can see on the left side of this slide, whereby we want to pull over all the diagnostic data from the PLCs to our enterprise level. Yeah, there are many ways to do, but the challenge now is actually the infra that we have to install at site to make sure that all the information that required by us is able to be to be pulled over to the enterprise level. So the purpose, as I mentioned earlier, is to liberate the diagnostic data from PLC to enterprise level for early intervention. So this is actually one of the items that we think that can improve our preventive maintenance that we are currently have. So that at all time the engineers can monitor the healthiness of the PLCs from their, let's say, their laptop or their desktop, so that early intervention can be done in the event of any fault occur. Okay, and then the second thing is, if you look also that we have the dashboard. Yeah, the dashboard is basically we want to increase the visibility for the early identification of the system fault, alarm, and also the degradation. So they will part of the package that we think it should be part of the preventive maintenance that we are looking at now, so that everybody at all platform can have the full visibility of the critical PLC at site. Okay, and then the third point is by having this, we think that we can have a faster and more accurate response to failure with readily available diagnostic and ability to collaborate with expert. So as I said, we are collaborating with a few vendors now to look at this, and then is already in proof of concept at one of our operating unit. So in MRCSB, we still at the early stage. What do you call it, in terms of feasibility? What is the best way for us to pull over all this data to the enterprise level? Okay, the second pain point that we highlighted earlier is the remote support required for site troubleshooting from expert. As you know that remote support or remote access from vendors is becoming a norm nowadays. Yeah, it becoming a norm nowadays. And then for MRCSB, we also would like to have this system available maybe in 2024 for us to address the pain point that we are having at site, be it by the technician as well as the process engineers. Yeah. So by having this remote support, whereby the vendor can access, let's say, their engineering workstation directly through the secure tunneling and multi-factor authentication to gain the access. Yeah, through our enterprise level. So by having this, we can reduce the mobilization cost and accelerate the site troubleshooting, because the site troubleshooting sometimes the issues can happen during working hours or even middle of the night. So by having this remote access solution, at least can bring us the opportunity or the approach so that we can use to have the troubleshooting at site and reduce the downtime of the equipment. Okay, the third one is the decentralized Windows patch and antivirus management. As mentioned earlier, the cybersecurity compliance become one of the important item in our industry. So for MRCSB, we are currently working together with our group digital to have a centralized patch management as well as the antivirus management, sending from the level 5 up to our PLC EWS. Yeah. So we are also working together with vendors to provide for them to provide the qualified patches and every signature update on the schedule base, so that we can deploy according to the time required. For instance, monthly for the Windows patches and weekly for antivirus. So this will definitely address the risk on the real time for the OT, so that we can minimize the vulnerability that can expose our EWS or the PLC EWS to our cyber security threat. Okay, so basically these are the three digital solution that we plan to adopt. And then maybe we plan to achieve all this by 2025, so that we can have a full what do you call it, a good preventive maintenance for our current PLCs. So lastly on our slide, basically I want to conclude, as for MRSB, leveraging on digital solution or adopting to the digital solution are essential, because all the diagnostic data are available, and the issue we have to pull it over to our required platform for early intervention of the fault. Yeah, that is very important to support our preventive maintenance. Secondly is on the effective remote support, whereby remote support is essential as well for us to timely resolve the site critical issues, and definitely it will impact the definitely it will minimize the equipment downtime. And the lastly is not to forget on the cybersecurity requirement. By having the digital solution that we mentioned earlier, we will enhance the cybersecurity management and timely remediate the OT risk via centralized deployment. So this basically what we are currently thinking of for us to have the next level of PLC maintenance. All right, thank you. That's the end of my presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Aminuddin, and also Mr. Divakaran. So there are several questions for you here. Actually, altogether we have quite a few of them, almost 7 questions, but we'll quickly go through the selected ones. Okay, so the first question, why Petronas does not apply singular PLC to control all systems? Why split with different type of PLC?
Okay. Okay, Divakaran here. Okay, question is why is single, is it?
Yes. Hold on.
Why never use
Why
same brand?
Petronas does not apply singular? So why split with different type of PLC?
Okay. Okay, we call it DCS, distributed control system. Is considered another we call it DCS. We have DCS and PLC. All right. So DCS actually is a single system that controls overall plant. Overall plant is distributed because it's very wide. We have distributed, and for certain small units, we must have a dedicated control. Dedicated control because we have, like I say, we have different kind of system of operating, and it's always come with the OEM. So OEM will propose their brand and their logic. So we have to use different kind of brand based on recommended by the OEM, and also during plant design stage, because certain like air dryer system, they have their own PLC. CCR, they have their own OEM licensor. That's why we have different kind of brands. It's not a single PLC. If you want to talk about Singapore, we use the DCS. All right.
Okay, right. So that would have answered the question. Okay, going on to the second question. How is the cybersecurity managed for the digital solutions in Petronas? Is this in line with the Malaysian standard? How is the cybersecurity managed for the digital solutions in Petronas? Is this in line with the Malaysian standard?
Okay, maybe I can help to answer on this. For your information, at Petronas level, we are having a group, a digital cybersecurity team, whereby they are looking into on all the cybersecurity requirement related for Petronas asset. So definitely this is in line with what do you call it, the regulation of the Malaysian standard, as well as we also comply with the IEC 62433 standard. So to answer the question, yeah, there is actually comply or with the whatever the external standard and also the local the requirement by the government.
Okay, by the group security, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so the next question, how can advancement of control system and PLC support green technology? How can the advancements of control system and PLC support green technology?
Okay. I think that's a big topic. But for MRCSB, currently, we are looking on the what do you call it? The first thing that we are focusing now is on the GHG. What do you call it? We try to improve the control of our plant at optimum level, so that we can have a control, let's say the excess O2, the CO and so on, by improving the control strategy of our current DCS. So that is what MRCSB currently working on.
All right. Okay. So the next question is about knowledge, sort of like knowledge management. Okay. So the question sounds like this. Different oil and gas players such as Petronas, Exxon, share in managing control system. Where does the lesson learned being shared among these players? So how does the knowledge being managed or shared among the players?
Okay, I think there are actually many platform, for all the industrial oil and gas players to share their experience. Giving an example like ISA, right? ISA, I think, is one of the best platform for the end users as well as the vendors to share their experience in maintaining their PLCs or designing their PLC as well. I think what I know, ISA is one of the best platform to share.
All right, so that's great.
Sorry, I want to add also, we also have forums where all the industry players will meet and share their experience. Yeah? So we have a forum once a year. They will share their experience.
Okay, that is organized by the respective oil and gas companies lah.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so the next question is, how do you ensure the software installed has no bugs, like Windows bugs?
Okay. I think that is a good question. From end user perspective, we know that every software, regardless Windows, Windows 10 or whatever Windows, the operating system, even the application software that developed by the vendor, sooner or later will show symptom of having the bugs. That's why one of the mitigation that I mentioned earlier, we need to have the regular patching of the, let's say, on the operating system Windows, which I mentioned in our slide earlier. And then on the application software, we will refer to the notification. Normally, vendor will send us yearly, like a notification on their product life cycle and any anomaly report regarding their software. From there, we will evaluate the report and will take necessary action, whether let's say the patching of the software, the application software can be done online, or we have to wait for the Windows, let's say during shutdown or turnaround. So that actually one of our mitigation currently.
All right, okay. So the next question is about this casualty a few years back. So what happened to the fire in Rapid that had caused casualties few years back? Couldn't the system detect the failure before this incident happened?
I don't think so. We can share any incidents.
Okay.
It's a confidential.
Yeah.
But
okay.
to answer, basically, the system is detected.
The system detected.
are there to detect. That's why we comply to the IEC standard. But to share the incident is still confidential. It's a close sharing.
Okay.
Sorry
All right.
for that. Yeah.
No worries. So let's move on to the last question. How do you validate the healthiness of your safety system for sensor, controller, and actuator? How do you validate the healthiness of your safety system for sensor, controller, and actuator?
Okay, for the sensor and the actuator, we have yearly PM. Yeah, yearly PM that we always have to comply. So every year we have to do the calibration to make sure the transmitter not drift. The talking about the element. The actuator, we have 6 monthly visual inspection, and every 5 years, related with the safety system, we have to bring down and service the valve. Yeah, the actuator. Whether it's good condition or not in the very good condition, we have to do the full service of these actuators. And talking about the system, we have the watchdog, always keep track on, always online diagnostics, keep on tracking the system. And every 5 years, we will test the system. Why every 5 years? Because we shut down for maintenance. Yeah. And the plant is shut down only, we can test the system. Because during running, when you test, we'll shut down the plant. So we have to wait for the maintenance, which is regularly every 4 to 5 years. When the plant is shutdown mode, we'll do the full test of the system. Yeah, the full functionality of the system.
Okay. All right. So that's all the question for your session. Thank you very much, Mr. Divagaran, and also Mr. Aminuddin for your sharing of knowledge. And also before we leave, Mr. Divagaran, happy Deepavali to you. So that was yesterday. So thank you for being with us this morning. And we'll just have a short break with 2 video montage, and we'll be back with the final session for today. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Emerson is helping our customers integrate breakthrough technologies in a way that is tailored to their needs, scalable, and drives measurable performance improvement. Our services and solutions enable customers to see greater efficiency, which drives improved sustainability, enhanced safety and security, compliance with new regulations, and boost reliability in the industries fundamental to daily life. From life sciences, power and energy, to water and chemical. Emerson's $2.4 billion software portfolio, working in concert with Emerson's intelligent devices and controls, is advancing new solutions for customers, helping them generate value, increase efficiencies, decrease carbon emissions, reduce downtime, and lower maintenance costs through digitally transformed operations. Our customers are relying on these digital solutions and proactive automation strategies more than ever to reach increasing performance goals and fill a growing shortage of skilled workers. Emerson's portfolio of products, including our PlantWeb digital ecosystem, is converting data into information that Emerson's customers can act on for their improved performance. Our location tracking solution, for example, helps our customers monitor worker safety in real time. In fact, our location awareness technology can help address more than 70% of common personnel recordable incidents. And our predictive diagnostics, analytics, and business intelligence technologies, including AI and machine learning, provide manufacturers with real-time visibility into the health of their equipment, helping them optimize plant operations. Emerson plays a critical role in helping life sciences and medical device manufacturers safely get life-saving medications to market faster and increase production of critical medicines. With 30 locations and nearly 1,000 project engineering and consulting employees solely focused on active life sciences projects around the world, Emerson has the automation industry's largest dedicated life sciences engineering and consulting organization. We have more than 3,000 installed systems in life science sites globally, including the top 20 science and pharmaceutical manufacturing companies. In fact, 3 out of 4 COVID vaccines are produced using Emerson's Delta V control systems. Cybersecurity is more relevant now than ever across all our industries. We're helping customers leverage industrial Internet of Things technologies that prevent exposure to cyber incidents and empower workers with the knowledge, behaviors, and tools they need to reduce threats. With our expertise in technologies, customers are building and applying robust defensive strategies to ward off attackers and stay in control of their facilities. Our employees are the backbone of this work, delivering for our customers around the world and solving the tough challenges they face on a daily basis. Their tireless work is bringing our purpose to life. We drive innovation that makes the world healthier, safer, smarter, and more sustainable.
Joining the International Society of Automation as an individual member is one of the smartest career decisions you'll ever make. ISA members have unparalleled access to technical resources and networking opportunities, delivered by a nonprofit professional association that has represented the needs and interests of automation and control professionals since 1945. ISA membership costs just $120 per year and gives you access to dozens of benefits. You can network with other professionals in your local area through ISA's geographically organized sections. You can access cutting-edge technical resources, like ISA's renowned industry standards, online web seminars on hot topics, thousands of peer-reviewed technical papers, and much more. You'll get discounts, 20% in most cases, on your purchases of ISA training, publications, and event registrations, and you'll earn 2 free technical division memberships so that you can join expert communities in the topics and industries that matter to you. Plus, joining ISA opens up a world of leadership possibilities. You could contribute technical content and get published in our magazine or e-newsletter. You could volunteer on a committee or run for an elected position on our leadership team. Or you could contribute your expertise to a standards development committee and change the way we look at technology in the future. There are so many opportunities to get involved, but it all starts with becoming a member of the greatest automation society in the world, ISA. For more details, visit www.isa.org/member-benefits.
Right, welcome back everyone to the third session of our event today. Okay, so the third session will be shared by TS Ahnaf Abdul Kais from Aeronerv. Okay, so TS Ahnaf will be sharing his speech or his talk entitled Drone and Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Technology. Without further ado, let's welcome TS Ahnaf. We can okay. We can't hear you, Mr. Ahnaf. Mm. Your mic is on, but there's no voice.
Testing, testing.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. All right. I
Okay,
think
the room is yours. All right.
okay. So can you guys hear clearly my voice?
Yes, yes.
Okay, let me share my slide first. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good morning to everybody. So my name is Ahnaf Abdul Kais. I'm from Aeronerv. I'm the Chief Operating Officer in our organization. So basically, we serve as geodata intelligence services covering industries such as agriculture, energy, and also mining sector. So we also provide training under our subsidiary Aeronef Institute, and we since 2020 we developed in-house solution covering the three sector as I mentioned just now. So today I think I'm quite different with other presenters. Basically, when we talk about automation, it will cover around automation and PLC, especially on the industry side. But now for today, I will present our experience or our case study involving drone and IoT based solution for the precision agriculture. So for let's see the definition of the precision agriculture. So basically, it is one of the innovative conception of agriculture production, basically to produce on-site data where we can guide farmers or the entities or agency involved in agriculture for decision making, and that's to manage the growing of crops, especially for yield prediction and the quality of the yield that produce. So in Malaysia, we see that most of our main crops are paddy or rice, palm oil, rubber, and as well others such as cash crops. Okay. Basically, when we talk about precision agriculture, you will be focusing on the GPS or geolocation-based data in determining our crop condition or the health of the crop itself. When we see when we talk about precision agriculture, it is very closely related to what we call the question of the success of this solution or the idea. Basically, how well it can be applied to assess, to manage, and also to evaluate the crops properly, especially on the space-time continuum for the production. Okay, this is some simple example where we can identify in palm oil industry, where the plantation or the estate we can monitor from the aerial view that we have been managed. We can see several areas that is poorly grown area. Here we can identify two areas, and then we can also identify where the most area that have been covered or dominated by the weed and creepers. Okay, using machine learning or using AI, we can count based on the tree canopy to identify how or the total of the trees that we are monitoring in a certain area. For this example, we can count until 291 trees that are located in the specific area. Okay, when we talk or when we discuss precision agriculture, it is more likely that you have beside you agronomists, because precision agriculture consists of you identify or you understand the field topography, you understand the water or irrigation system, for that certain area, basically in the large farm. Then the condition of the soils and nutrients, existing nutrients or additional nutrients that we need to add on to the area or to the soil. For example, for paddy field, you need a proper composite fertilizer. You need a proper what we call kapo for to cover the area before you do the planting activities. Then now, as we know, we are entering the seasonal area, monsoon season, where weather is very unpredicted. During previous cases, farmers have been facing lots of losses due to unpredicted weather. The crops could not be harvested properly, and millions of ringgit have been losses due to the unpredicted weather. Okay. Next one will be the crop health or crop condition. This one based on the growing stage of the crops, because different crops, you have different growth, a different perspective of agronomies, and you need to understand properly before you implementing the technology or the precision agriculture approach. Finally, this is the main issues that have been facing by all the farmers, basically pests and disease, because pests or insects, they can the growth can be rapidly even within certain hour or certain days, and it will affect the area or large area of the plantation. So when you cover this based on drone image, based on the IoT, specific IoT for each of perspective or components, then you will get the idea on determining or visualizing the condition or the needs of the crops. So when we are entering the IR 4.0, the activities that we need from the farmers basically is to have the sufficient reliable data where we can make decision precisely and accurately. I think our generation, or maybe our father's generation, they have been grown up or been raised by our grandfather or grandmother, which is in the agricultural area, and they plan or they do the cultivation activities just or based on the experience. Okay, we don't have any documented activities to identify the situation or the condition of the crops. So the problem when we are facing like that, we don't have a suitable or proper data to determine what are the recommendation to be implemented on these certain crops. Okay, and then from this, from the activities or reliable data, we can do more accurate decision where we can utilizing resources such as fertilizers, as we know, for large crops or such as paddy or palm oil. They have the subsidy program or scheme to the farmers to as their inputs or as their as fertilizer to enhance their yield production. So here, lastly, this efficient will provide the increase of yield and the productivity of the farmers and the usage of the land for the agriculture activities. Okay, so these are the benefits. Ideally, it reduces losses either from the crop itself, from the inputs such as water, fertilizer, and also resources such as labors, etc. Okay, and from here we can cost effective for the inputs. Okay, to ensure the growth of the crops, and then to increase the productivity of the farmers itself, where they are they are working based on the data that they have been given or they have been provided from the solution or from the platform, and resources can be utilized efficiently uh, among the large area of the farming. Okay, these are the simplification of what I have mentioned just now. So sufficient and reliable data, and then encourage the farmers or the agencies to guide them based on the decision making. Because currently what we are facing is certain activities by the farmers does not based on the actual data on the ground, just by assumption and by agak-agak. Okay, so we don't have the effective farm management by the farmers, and basically the majority of the farmers, their average is around 60 years old. So you know, when we talk about towards the negara tour, so these are some issues that we need to solve properly for our national food security. Okay, as I mentioned just now about the age of our farmers and the challenges in Malaysia, we can see it's not only in Malaysia, but we are facing globally since the population of the global population is increasing and the demand is increasing. Even the climate also is changing. Okay, and this will produce a scarcity on our resources. Okay, so when it happens, we can see as our previous cases or events where the cost of uh, our the cost of the agriculture itself has been increased, such as the pesticides and everything, also for the fertilizer. And then when we see global challenges, it will affect our nation, such as over-reliance to the foreign labors. Okay, why? Because the income or the average income of the farmers, I think less than 3,000 or 2,500 per month. So agriculture industry is not the main demand for our young generation. Okay, and then inefficient of resource management, as I mentioned just now about the fertilizer management or the subsidy-based fertilizer. Then, as mentioned, when we are too relying on the foreign labor, so the youth also is not very interested in our industry or in agriculture industry. So this causes poor foresight and planning, and then we don't have the proper SOP or standard operation procedure, especially in agriculture, because different crops, they have their own benchmark and also the unique procedures itself. And then low adaptation on technology. I think IR 4.0 for the industrialization for agriculture in Malaysia, I think for smart farming or precision agriculture, I think just started 3 to 4 years back. Okay, on the implementation, and still we are in progress of understanding the proof of concept. Okay. Here's some screenshot from articles that I have been read, especially affecting on our in Asia, where we have been identified, or in summary, we can consider that data of our agriculture is very important to predict, to understand the supply chain itself, to manage the utilization of resources, and also when we talk about fertilizer, it will affect our environment as well. Okay. So based on our experience, we have been applied, especially on the aerial imaging services or remote sensing activities, to identify the crop health itself, where we are using the specific cameras such as hyperspectral and multispectral that we apply using our drone, our in-house drone. Then from there, we identified of data set basically for the plant health and chlorophyll profile. Then we did some, we have experience in terrain analysis based on the orthophoto map and digital terrain modeling. We process by ourselves from the aerial data, especially on the irrigation system, where we plan, we propose a proper irrigation system in certain crop. Okay, I will share the experience based on our case study after this. The next one basically on the farm assessment and the survey, we enable automated tree counting for farm assessment, understanding the condition of the area, and then especially for the population of the plantation. Okay, next one, especially on the IoT parts, Internet of Things, we have been applied asset tracker sensor to see the speed of the harvester, whether it affected or not during the harvesting, because when different speed actually can affected the losses of the harvested crops. Okay, and then weather monitoring, we have certain we have the common weather monitoring station. Then we have the idea to expand for the long range weather monitoring, because certain crops their growth only 2 to 3 months, and certain crops they need to be well prepared, such as rice or paddy. The maturity period is around 100 to 110 days, I think around 4 months. But before planting activities can be occurred, you need to understand the weather forecast properly, because there will be specific activities such as fertilizing the soil to avoid the heavy rain. Okay, and then we have the pH and temperature monitoring sensors, or the soil sensors, to understand the existing or the area, the condition of soil at the monitored area. Okay. We also been done the AI-driven pest monitoring system. We call it as Pest Watch, based on camera, high resolution camera, to identify the concept or to identify the types of pests that have been affecting the area. Okay. Then we monitor the crops or crop health based on drone imaging. Certain requirement request for the VARI image, and certain crops they need to analyze through the NDVI image, and also we compare with the RGB. Okay, to monitor either there is any affected area. Then once the area mapping or the area survey have been done by the drone, we interpret the data, then the groundworks will be occurred after that to justify the data. Okay. These are the experience that we have been done for the pineapple. Okay. The site is in Pulau Bernam, Selangor. We work with our IoT company partner, Set Asia. So they provide the IoT and sensors to us, where we provide the aerial mapping and the aerial data to visualize and to understand the condition of the areas. Okay. In short, the pineapple species or the variety that we are monitoring is MD2, where we know that MD2 is very sweet and very expensive. The location, as I mentioned, in Hulu Bernam, the area is 24 hectares. The soil type is mineral soil, and it can cover almost 969, almost 1 million stand of the plant. As just now I mentioned, the common or the average price is around 4 ringgit per pineapple. Okay, the worth is around 3.8 million. Okay, so we identify the problem statement where the area have been basically the infrastructure, the irrigation system is very poor, so it can prone to flooding. Certain area have been can be occurred or prone to flooding, especially during the heavy rain. Then the poor soil monitoring, and then it can cause to crop malnourishment, where, and you can see in the image, the tree or the plant itself has been affected by disease. Okay, and the main issue for pineapple is basically the airborne bacteria and fungus. So this one, when we talk about biosecurity issue, we have been facing or because MD2 is very expensive and very high quality fruits for pineapple family. And pineapple basically it's a cactus family, cactus tree. Then when the demand for exporting pineapple is very high actually to other countries such as Australia. And as we know, Australia's standard or quality standard is very high. So when if even one fruit have been affected, so it will affect it to the whole export activity to other countries, such as this kind of situation. Okay. Then the area have been dominated. I consider as dominated by weeds. So when weeds have been dominated in the crop area or plant, so this weed actually it suck everything and nutrients in soil before the crop, before the pineapple can be consumed. Okay. So from our scope, basically the first one, we do the land mapping based on our aerial mapping data. So you can see that pineapple, the best growth condition for pineapple is low moisture environment. And if they expose to long-term high moisture condition, it can affect it, or it may result to the malnourishment and bacteria infection to the crops. Okay, so we do the flood planning based on the on chef solution drone deploy. Then we cover all the 24 hectares for the mapping. Okay. Then we understand that the need of proper irrigation and land mapping, where it helps farmers to identify to compare the elevation between low and high elevation to determine a proper system for the land. Okay. Then we provide the rain gauge sensor to give the long terms and near real-time monitoring of the rain intensity and as well the humidity of the soil in our area. Okay. So you can see on the right of my slide, you can see the different one is the aerial mapping in RGB image. Then the lower part or the below image is the DEM or digital elevation model, where we successfully generated from the orthophoto map, and we identify the possible risk of flooding. If you can see here in the blue colored image, basically these are the affected area by heavy rain. Okay, so you can see DEM data assist or provide to the farmers to identify the suitable area especially for the IoT rain gauge sensor installation, and as well for the long-term flood monitoring device. Okay. Okay, so the blue one, as I mentioned just now, basically these are the lower part or lower elevation area, and as you can see from the upper image, basically is the area for higher elevated space. Okay, so from here 5 flood prone area was being identified, and then we justify the data based on drone and also the ground survey by our team to conduct and to inspect the area. Okay. So our IoT or rain gauge work very fine since we are using the 5G, I think 5G connectivities, where we capture the data sufficiently, and we recommend a number of rain gauge, 1 unit to cover 4 acres. Okay, if you are using the weather station, certain device or certain weather station can cover up to 100 hectare of radius. Okay, so it depends to the device or depends to the IoT capability, and also we need to understand the land that we need to cover. Okay, then the flood mitigation performed basically based on the DEM data, where we acquire from our drone map. Okay, and we compare with our rain gauge sensors data. Okay, so the next one, from the aerial imaging, we can identify the width or width identification can be occurred based on the aerial data. So if you can see on the image on the right side, you can see it is more greener. Basically, these are the line for farmers to walk and to monitor. But unfortunately, in this monitored area, there have been weed had been grown. Okay, so we need to cut it out before the nutrient or the fertilizer that has been implemented to the area have been sucked by these weeds. Okay. So you can see here the comparison between VARI data and also the RGB data. So you can see the spotted area where the weeds have been cultivated. So impact studies, where we can summary on our pineapple farm. So you can see 1 acre consists of 17,000 pineapple per cycle. Okay, and for the price of one fruit, as I mentioned just now, it's around 4 ringgit. And for the area, it can be a potential revenue about 68,000 per acre. On average, or practically, 35% is the rejection rate due to disease or the low quality fruit that you need to consider. Okay, so it's around 28,000 or 24,000 losses can be facing by the farmers. Okay, and then others, let's say you are doing the soil monitoring. Okay, so the losses you can cut through until 50% through the real-time soil monitoring, and you can target proper corrective action. Okay, in market or in industry for agriculture, you have several approach. Okay, you have the real-time pH and temperature sensors where you plant in certain specific area. The other is you have the in situ soil monitoring where you have the device. You bring the device to the site. You take some samples and you calculate through the device. So you can get more nutrient analysis using the latest technology. Okay, so the conventional activities basically for agriculture, what we are doing previously is you take the sample from the site and then you send it to the laboratory to analyze the fertilizer. Then it will come out the report after, for I think after 2 weeks. Okay, so now you can monitor real time or I think near real time. Certain solution can approach within 10 minutes. You can get the result of the soil condition itself. Okay, so when you understand this kind of concept of soil monitoring, basically you can do the calculation, proper calculation to optimize your fertilizer to the area or to the specific area. Okay, now you already save almost 10,200, and then you apply drone for your irrigation planning to prevent any flood in your agriculture area. And then you can the early detection using multispectral sensor is expected to cut another 10% losses and to increase your crop value export. Okay, now you add on another 6,800 of saving to your activities. Okay, or to your operation. Then for a solution that costs, let's say around 1,100 times 3 plus the another 240 times 12, then you can gain another 6,140 per cycle per acre. Okay, these are the conditional costs for pineapple activities. Okay, we experience for paddy, but I think for today I just share on the pineapple to give basic understanding on precision agriculture really assists or really help farmers to reduce and to increase their yield production. Okay, so drone and IoT solution basically can be scaled up to other 31 tropical countries, especially in our neighbors. Okay, and we also can increase our export capability. As we know, for pineapple, basically the standard is quite high, and they also have their own specific their standards to be complied before exporting the pineapple. Okay. Historically, basically, we also during the World War II, we also export our pineapple to the European countries as well. Okay. Malaysia alone, 9,000 hectares can contribute to around 40 to 80 million market value to implement drone and IoT technology. Okay. In future, what we are intended to do, basically, the conventional way is to describe or descriptive analysis from the data, where descriptive analysis tells you what happened in the past. Okay, what data you already have in your organization or in your from your land, and then from there we would like to increase another step or scale up to diagnostic analysis, where we can help to understand why is something happened in the past. Okay, based on the data that you or based on the data that we are collecting from the site. Then I think we can extend to predictive analysis, where we can predict, maybe we can predict our yield production for specific crop. We can predict any changes on our season to be more prepared for the crop itself, to avoid any losses during harvesting, okay, where we can predict what is most likely happen in the future. Then we recommend, we provide some action plan or mitigation plan to the farmers, to the agencies, okay, a proper solution before it happen. Okay, so we are intending to moving towards the agriculture, conventional agriculture, to a prescriptive and analysis based agriculture. Okay. Basically, I end my presentation to understand on the concept of data governance, where we are trying to mature precision agriculture through data, basically, from the early stage of the data acquisition, and then we can build up the machine learning, train the data, test the data, validate the data, everything, until we can create a proper inference from our data pipeline. So these are the idea from us. Basically, what we would like to do, what we are inviting, if any partners that would like to create the idea of this precision agriculture. Okay, I think that's all from me.
Okay, thank you very much, Ahnaf. So you do have several questions, and we'll go through the questions one by one, okay? So since we have time, right? So the first question, how effective is the image processing technique? For example, on our own developed software in monitoring the key parameters.
May I know in what perspective on the efficiency, right?
Yeah, the effectiveness of the image processing technique that has been used.
Currently, the image processing basically based on the cloud solution. So we data acquisition being done by our drone pilot at site. Then we gathered in cloud solution. From there, image processing can be done and visualized by our engineers and our GIS team. So from there, we can determine and we visualize the issues. The effectiveness, basically, we tend to work with agronomists and also from the expert to determine. We can currently we just provide the raw data, Then the effectiveness come when the agronomist can interpret properly from the data that we given to them. Okay.
Okay. All right. So the second question is okay. From personal experience, how do you or your team or the technologies basically persuade traditional farmers in our kampung who are, who are quite adamant not to embrace technology? So how is it that we actually persuade them in adapting or adopting the technologies nowadays?
Okay, as I just mentioned as I mentioned just now, where farmers basically the average of the farmers are 60 years old, but currently trending, I think some of my friends basically, even though they are engineers, they are start to you know have some asset, start their small scale of farm, like planting chili or etc. I think the cash crop is easy to persuade for this kind of farmers, but the real challenges basically is on the I think like commodity such as palm oil, and also challenges in paddy as well, where the generation gap is very high. The gap
Yeah.
is very high. So what we are doing is basically we are trying to provide a free platform and create some proof of concept for them. And then we encourage them to switch um, by stages actually, because when you talk about changing their understanding, changing their perspective on agriculture. This, I think, the the basic approach about change management you have to face with them. Good engagement with them is very important.
Yeah, so like for example, durian plantation. So in the areas of Pahang, Raup. So I think they consist of smaller scale farmers. So and the acquisition is not that much of a land, so probably 30 acres and so on. So with that kind of it's small land, it's not a large conglomerate. So how would you think the cost, the capital for them to actually adapt on technologies, or these technologies are more of bigger corporations?
Basically, the cost for aerial imaging, or I think for aerial image services, basically it's not very expensive.
Not
You
very
can you
expensive.
can yeah, I think less than 10 ringgit per acre or per hectare, average on that lah.
Okay.
Okay, so basically, if these small farmers, such as durian, because I have a brother who manage a durian farm, and then what we understand from the situation, basically, they can implement, when if they are interested in this, then we can provide the basic aerial understanding of their area and the irrigation, because we know that durian very high consume crop for water. So your irrigation system need to be well planned and proper design before to get good or high quality of your durian.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on to the next question. What is the minimum specification for the drone for agriculture application? Like, is the famous DJI drone enough? I'm not sure what it means by DJI, so maybe you understand the question? Yeah.
Yes. Basically, depends on your area. Basically, if you are personal user or personal farmers, you have such as maybe 1 acre 1 acre of land, and you want to execute, basically the basic drone should be fine. Okay.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, the larger area that you monitoring that you are monitoring, so the larger that you need your drone, because
Okay.
it involves image processing. So data acquisition should be more fast and in
Mm.
proper time to acquire all the area to be covered.
Okay, all right. So the next question, how are the sensors calibrated, such as weather monitoring sensor, pH, temporary monitoring, temperature monitoring?
Calibrated, I think for now there is no standard for that. For calibration, I haven't experienced on calibration issues, but for soil monitoring, they have the standard to calibrate, to be monitored, and to be checked properly. For
Okay.
simple IoT, I don't think they have the sorry, because in agriculture, basically, as I share with you in the
Mhm.
early presentation, because adapting technology in agriculture basically is very early in our country.
Mm.
So there are some loose condition that need to be reviewed and to be improvised.
Okay, all right. Okay, the next question, how do you ensure that drones used in Malaysia is unhackable?
Unhackable.
Unhackable.
Uh,
Mm.
I think that is more on the hardware itself. As for now, we did some service, but we don't have any experience on hacking drone. I mean, we have a team that can manage on the drone security and drone forensic. But for now, for the time being, we don't have any condition on or request based on hacking of the drone. Jamming the
Okay.
drone, I think they have the technology, especially on the security team.
Okay. In this question, so what type of program do Aeronerv offer to industries and academia for drone improvement and collaboration? So basically, industry academic collaboration. Do you have any between Aeronerv and the industry as well as the academic?
Uh, Basically, that one will have the jurisdiction is under our branch company, which is Aeronaut Institute. I think we are open for partnership on the calibration, because calibration is an important and very interesting topic to be reviewed. Currently, we are focusing on the proficiency, um, developing our new talent, especially for the drone tech industry, or um, on the calibration. I think it's a good feedback from our participant. I would say
Okay.
uh, you can PM me or email me after this. Maybe we can understand more on that one.
Okay. Right. Excuse me. So the last two question is from the chat box. All right. So from ISAAC, I believe I saw some of the model building there. Are the model building depend on the open source model? Or
Which one? The question is for me or? Hello?
I'm sorry, I got a very bad cough.
Okay.
Can you please see the chat box?
Wait.
The question by Isaac.
Can I find my chat box? Okay, here. Model building there, the building model depend on the source model or internal.
Okay, continue, Mr.
Okay, basically model based on the proprietary solution, but I think the question is referring to the DEM model, I think, digital elevation model. So basically, this model can be has been implemented several certain software for the image processing.
Okay. So the question is that I believe I saw some of the model building there. Are the model building depend on the open source model or internal model by the company?
Based on the software, it's not the open source.
So the answer is based on the software.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashnaf. Let me just go through some more if we have. We have another one there. Can you suggest which drone model suitable for scanning and data collecting application?
If you I think we need to understand your requirement first before I can propose any types of drone, because let's say you are doing for mining activities, it might be different. If you are doing for such as inspection, for energy or oil and gas, you have inspection purpose, so it could be different specification. In general, any drone can be applied, but then the sensors or the image, what are the type, what are the output that you are required, so that I can understand the needs.
Okay, that means yeah, if for agricultural, can you suggest what kind of drone that we can actually hunt for it, is if it is for agriculture?
If you just for the scanning or image acquisition, basically it's the basic one should be good. The payload is the main issue actually, because when you want to acquire or to capture image, basically what are the type of the payloads or the cameras that you are using. So certain drone could not, a certain drone you have the capacity to to bring to fly the payload with them, with the drones. So in general, you can use Phantom, DJI Phantom should be sufficient if you are using for the personal land or agriculture.
Yeah, we have some more questions because this is so interesting, I guess. How about we use more than one drone during certain operations, sir? So is there any problem related to the remote signal?
Certain what? Sorry?
Certain operation.
Certain operation. We use more than one drone. Yeah, it possible. The even you can automate it to fly several drones without any issues on the remote signal. But if you are using one controller, I think I'm not sure. Maybe basically on drone, you have to plan, you have to program it to fly multiple drones in one time.
All right, thank you
Yep,
so much,
exactly.
Mr. Ashnaf. So, is there any model that you would like to suggest if it is for agriculture? Any model that probably you have in mind that you would like to suggest if it is meant for agriculture, sir?
What do you mean by model?
I mean the drone model or any software. Do you want to suggest?
Yeah, for normal mapping, just you can use DJI Phantom 4 Pro, and then yeah, they are off-the-shelf solution if you want to for the image processing, such as drone deploy, Pix 4D, but you have the limitation on the process itself.
Okay, I see. Thank you so much. I guess there is no more questions from the participants. All right. Let me just check the next one. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Ashnaf, for your interesting presentation with regards to the drone. So I think I'm taking over for a while for Dr. Sheila. We have a few more videos. Dr. Sheila, I hand it over back to you, perhaps.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Alia, for covering me just now. So, Mr. Arnav, just one more question. Do you have any knowledge or experience on using drone in construction?
Yes, we have experience in monitoring for construction, and then I think the last slide I present our solution. It's called Terabina, where we monitor construction area by progress, and we generate report based on aerial mapping that we have been done gradually.
Okay, so that was done before construction, meaning to say that the investigation of the land area before construction, is it? More of
Pre-construction, construction, and post-construction.
I see. Okay, okay, that's good. One more question actually from Isaac. Have you done any comparison metrics comparing between automated process with manual labor, including the lifespan of drone or the overall project? So it is like measuring the, I guess, the productivity resultant in terms of better productivity maybe between automated process and also manual labor.
Okay, thank you for the question. I have my member in as participant, Mr. Nizam. He explained to us in chat. Basically, if you use drone, basically for one relong lah. One relong ni, I think about a half hectare. It will consume around 5 minutes. Okay, but if you are using conventional, the time consumption is around half an hour. We are using people.
So in terms of productivity improvement, that is pretty obvious there, I suppose. Yeah. Okay, so I suppose we have answered all the questions provided or requested by the participants, and we have came to almost the end of our session. Thank you very much, Mr. Arnab, for your time, for your sharing of knowledge, your experience, and an eye-opener for us, actually, who is not really, really in touch with the agricultural sector. And we believe that it is moving towards that way of incorporating Industry 4.0 thingy and so on. Okay, so before we end, there is another two video montage to be shown, and then we'll close out with the concluding remark, and we will end our session after that. Okay, so we have a short break with the two video montage. All right, thank you, Rizman, for the video, for the montage, and thank you, everyone, for staying till the end of the session. Okay, so before we end, there are several things just to highlight. Please register yourself in the link provided in the chat box. Okay, so there will be certificate provided, so please ensure that you have registered yourself in the through the link provided in the chat box. Okay, so just to wrap up on our session, basically we have gone through three sessions mainly. Okay, so the first session was by Dato' Wira, Dr. Abu Bakar bin Muhammadiyah, who was the CEO, or who is the CEO of Perbadanan Teknologi Hijau Melaka. Basically, he talked about the implementation, or basically what they have done basically at the current moment on the adoption of green technologies in Melaka. And we can see kind of tremendous. Okay, so there are huge facilities, there are huge technologies that has been impacted in the state of Malacca. So we have also observed that they have actually not only adapted or adopted the technology, but also the people aspect of it as well. Okay, so there are a lot of awareness, education, and so on. So I think I believe we have learned quite a lot. Okay, so with what have been done, the strategies, the initiative that have been done in Malacca. So the next session was actually handled or basically was delivered by Mr. Divakaran Shamugan and also Mr. Aminuddin from MRCSB Malacca Petronas, and they've basically talked about system. Okay, so the control system and so on, how it has been used and being adopted or applied in the oil and gas industry. And the last session was in regards to the industry of agricultural in specific. Okay, so a slot by TS Ahnaf Abdul Kais from Aeronerv, who actually talked about the introduction or basically the application of drone, IoT as well as GIS in improving or basically to increase the performance of agriculture. Okay, so those are three talks that we have had for today, and I believe we would have actually a webinar or Matews series 5 in November. So please join us for our next session. Okay, so I think with that, okay, Tarmizi requested for the link. Hold on, I'll just pass the attendance link again in the chat box. Hold on, and please do register yourself there. Okay, so with that, we end the session for today. Thank you very much for to our team members who have actually co-organized this event, and we hope to see you all in the next session. So with that, thank you very much and have a good day ahead. Thank you.